Downsizing Diva, and I'm here to stay. Feeling good, taking my DLP one day. One whole year, wiped away my fears. Done 60 pounds, but that's no all. I kept on going even through the storm. My A1C went down. I still have work to do. Just when you thought I was done, my high blood pressure went down too. Feeling good, taking my tea, but anyway, one left. I have a great story to tell. I'm on the road to lose 100 pounds. Can I do it in 2025? Guess I can. Downsizing Diva, and I'm here to stay. Feeling good, taking my DLP one day.
Hello, and welcome. Happy Sunday. Okay, geez, Louise, I feel like I'm so uh under the 8 ball, behind the 8 ball, whatever you say, whatever you call it. So I'm feeling that way. Today. All right, so it is Sunday, and this is my weekly weight loss review. Let's see, or weigh in, I should say. Let's see who is in the chat. Who do we have? We have Felicia Marie B. How are you? We have Lakeisha. Hi, Lakeisha. I'm trying to wear my glasses. We have Jamisha. How are you, Jamisha? We have Beverly. Hey, Beverly, how are you? We have I said Lakeisha. We have Z. Hey, Z, how are you? We have Tammy. Hey, Tammy, how are you? Hey, Tammy. We have Harjareen. How are you? We have Jen, my friend Jen. How are you, Jen? Geez, 101. How are you? Hello. So today, like I said, it is Sunday. I'm going to tell you, is that Real Journal Talk with V? Hello. Let me turn on the fan because I think I might need a fan in this place to be. Okay, I think I needed a fan. Jeez Louise. All right, so this is my week 71. I can't believe it's week 71. So this is my week 71, and I've just been having some surprising things going on that I had not had before 12 and a half, like the 12 and a half milligrams. So one of the things that's been going on with me, remember I talked about I had a surprising side effect that I had never had before, and that was doing my injection. I did it, I stay up around the belly, I rotate around, and I had this the side effect of like itching, like it was itching, it was sore, and I try to do what I tell my daughter to do, like to cover it with something and then rub it, not to necessarily scratch it. So that's what I was trying to do, and it didn't work. It didn't work as well. So eventually somebody said, oh, see how it goes, like your second and third shot. I think I'm on my third injection. Am I on my third injection of 12 and a half. So that was the first time I took it. The second time, the second injection, it did not do that. And I did it at the bottom of my belly. So I've kind of rotated around. So like this time I'm doing it again. This time I did it. I went back up. Did I go back up to the top? I think I stayed to the bottom, but on a different side, because I was afraid that if you did something a little different, I wasn't sure what was going to happen. So that's been my side effects, with that was different. Well, in addition to that, I've had fatigue like no other. I mean, the fatigue has just been real. Usually after I take my injection, the other injections, maybe like a day or two, I would have the fatigue. It's lasting more than a day or two. It's like into the third or fourth day. And I also have, and actually I've been just tired all the way up until it's time to take my injection again. I'm a little fatigued, a little bit more than I've had before. So that just, it's kind of troublesome for me. So what I've been doing to kind of counteract that is I have been taking drinking electrolytes. So I've been drinking that Element. You know, I love Element. I only drink the watermelon flavor, although I have a bunch of Element that I have like some samples of different ones. So I probably around my birthday time, because I always feel like, you know, when you give, you should get. When you give, you get, you should give. And usually for my birthday, I'm getting things. So I thought I'm gonna have a giveaway. I was gonna do it for my 1 year YouTube anniversary, but you know, I've always stuck to that. If I get things and you know, plentiful, I give. So I'm gonna have a giveaway around my birthday time, which is in mid-July. And so I'll be giving away some Element. So if you're one of the people that want to try the Element, you know, I have a bunch of it. I have the samples, and I opened one of the packs to make sure it was a sample size, and it is. And so I'm going to be giving, you know, kind of raffling those off. And then I don't know if you guys remember, but I had a relationship expert, Miss Nadia. I hope I'm saying her name right. She came on the channel on a Friday, you know, talking about relationships and dating. And she is in the process of publishing her book. So of course I'm going to support it and buy one of the books, but I'm also going to buy one to raffle off as well. So I'm going to be doing that. And then maybe hopefully she could come back and like choose the, you know, whoever's going to be the person that wins the book. You know, she has a program that she, you know, talks to women. I can't get off on that. Let me stick to my weight loss topic. But anyway, so I have some giveaways coming up. And so it's going to be some things that we've already done on our channel related to the channel. But so the Element, I love Element. So I've been taking that. The bad news with the Element, though, is that I've been having to go to the restroom like unnecessarily. And I shouldn't say unnecessarily, because if you have to go, it's kind of necessary, right? But I've just had to go. It's just been, you know, in the middle of the night, you know, because I've kicked it up what I've been drinking. And I mean, I was so tired. Like last night, I was on the phone talking. I was actually planning like our get together, and I was planning that on the phone last night. And then when I hung up, we was like three of us, and then, you know, we hung up, and then I got back on the phone. And then so we were talking, and I think it was past midnight, and the person says to me, let me tell you one more thing. This is a funny story. Well, I knew when she said that I was not going to make it, and I should have spoke up and said, wait, just tell me tomorrow, but I didn't. So of course I dozed off, and the next thing I hear her saying is, Shay. And I dozed off. And you know, if you are my friend and you've been talking to me late night, or even once I lay down and start talking, it's all she wrote. It's like, let's just pick this back up another time. And I could just feel myself getting so relaxed. And then I went to sleep. So this person's not on here today yet, but when she does, I got to apologize. And she said you weren't snoring. You were just like, you could tell, like it was like a sigh, like, oh, I'm so relaxed. And I kind of went to sleep. So when I say I am tired, you know, not tired, but fatigued, you know, having that fatigue, and then just having like a soreness with it. And so somebody told me that means that the medication is working for you and that your pancreas is working. So I'm going to take that, you know, if that's what I have to do to for this injection to be working, you know, I'll take it. It's not like it's, you know, if I had to go to work, I could, but if I had a choice to be leisure and lay down and relax, I'll do that too. And so because I'm off on summer vacation, that's what, you know, when I just feel the need to sit down, I do. But I'm not one of those people that can stay still. I got to like keep it moving at times. Thank you to the people that showed up in the chat. I'm going to stick to this, and then I'll go back to the chat. Another thing I talked about is another side effect is not being able to eat. Now, this reminds me, I tell you guys all the time, I used to take Rybelsus, the Ozempic, it's like Ozempic in a pill form, right? And I was so afraid to take that Ozempic injection, so I took Rybelsus. And of course, before I took that, I kind of studied up on what Ozempic was and what Rybelsus was. And actually, here is one of my old boxes. I don't know if you can see that. So that's one of my old boxes where I didn't finish it because well, this is probably one of the bottles I finished, but I just could not stick to that Rybelsus. It made me feel bloated, and it really made me feel stuffed, like stuffed. It's so tired that I really couldn't function. I remember the summer I took it, I thought I'm going to wait till after school's out because I didn't know how I was going to react to it. And I wanted to hire a personal trainer that year. And my two goals, hire a personal trainer, and it was to clean my closets out, like, organize everything. And I did not hire the personal trainer because I think that's the year. Is that the year I did those? I think that's the year I did Pilates. I think I was doing Pilates, but it was all I could do to get there. And then another thing I did was I was cleaning out the closets and stuff. And I remember I would start when I dropped my daughter off for summer camp. And by the time I would come back, I could not do anything. Like, I just really could not function. And I just thought, this is no way I'm going to be able to work and have a life and do everything. So I, couldn't do it. But I could tell, obviously I was losing weight because I really wasn't eating. Like, I was so stuffed, but I just did not like that stuffed feeling. That's one of the things I like about being on Mounjaro, is that I used to eat, and sometimes I would eat late night. And now, I cut off my eating at 7:30. If I have to eat beyond that, it's something very light. But I used to eat, and then I would be so stuffed to the point where I would wake up in the morning and still feel like, like a little stuffed, like I was just eating a whole lot. And this is the funny thing. My daughter just said, I was making her a snack, and I made her some popcorn, maybe 30, 35 minutes before this live. And she said, Mommy, how come we don't order stuff out anymore? How come we don't have food delivered anymore? And I said, well, because I'm trying to slim down. Remember, I said, I'm slimming down. Thank you. I said, I'm slimming down. So, we're not ordering out. But I mean, DoorDash was my friend. I used to love DoorDash. And she said, well, you're on a weight loss. I'm not on the weight loss. And I said, but do you have money? I said, because it's not cheap. And she said, well, I have $3. I said, well, that doesn't even cover what I was tipping them, to come here. So, it's just so funny. So my lifestyle and what I used to do has changed. But geez, Louise, this is also another lifestyle that you got to focus. You got to get used to. You just got to be on point with it. And so it's kind of hard when, you got I feel like so many obstacles are in the way. So I have not been doing a great job with my eating, and really I haven't been eating enough. And, I've just been so tired. This has been a week of just kind of like, where I have to refocus myself, where I have to refocus, my thoughts and what I'm doing. I've also been intermittent fasting. I didn't plan to. If you've been following my journey, I say on the weekends, that's when I do some intermittent fasting. I could go to, a long time before I eat. During the school year, it's harder for me. And I think it's because it's just a routine, and I'm seeing, the kids they eat breakfast. Some of the kids eat breakfast in the room. And I just associate it with that, like eating something. Well, since I've been at home, it's a couple days where I went to Pilates this week, or 2 days, because I go twice a week. Both days I went without eating, and I felt like almost like sick to my stomach. I felt like I should have had something in my stomach before I went. And the first day, my Pilates, the first time it was at noon. So I knew that was a stretch. Of course, I didn't get out till 1. The second day, which was Friday, it was at 10, and I got out at 11. So that was a little bit earlier. By the time I got home at 8, though, it was probably after I picked up my daughter, which was, I didn't eat that day till like 3:30. And so I know it all sounds good, right? Because you're not eating. But for me, I want to get those calories in. So it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle. And then I think because I've been drinking so much LMNT, the salt of it all. And, normally I just drink 1 pack for the whole entire week, and that'll last me. Where I've been drinking, I think probably I had 3 packs of it this week, because I've been just adding it to my water, just trying to I feel like it does give me a pep up, because I've still been able to maneuver and do things, edit my videos and, do stuff around the house and run my errands and everything that I had going on. So I don't know, but with all that I told you, so 12.5, it's working. It's just, it's going to take an adjustment for me to get used to it, right? Because my goal is to eat 1,800 calories, and I haven't been doing that. I know I have not been doing that, and I eat the same thing, so I don't have to plug it in. But I did tell you guys, it's a new app that I'm trying out. I didn't even get to that. Like, I need to get to that app and plug my information in there so that, you know, hopefully it works. It tracks, you know, not just what you're eating, your exercise, your injections and all that. And I think if there's a time I'm going to, you know, document what the injections are doing, it's going to be now, because I still have like 65 more pounds I want to lose. And I think I got to kind of just step it up a notch. You know, I go into that DEXA scan, follow-up appointment. I want to have lost fat but gain muscle. So I have that going on. I haven't been able to exercise as much as I normally have since I've been on this 12.5, you know. So you guys saw me, I got on the treadmill for that extra. I haven't done my Taibo this week. I only did one strength training. So I guess I had movement for 3 days, but normally I like to get in the 4 days. So, but the Pilates, of course, you know, I've been doing that. And that is a full body workout. It really, really is. So, you know, I mean, it is what it is. I'm a work in progress. What do you guys think about my week this week? Do you think I lost or not? So I'm going to let you guys, you know, hopefully you can put it in the chat. What do you think? And then how do I look with these glasses? Do I look like a librarian? Do I look like a teacher? Jeez, Louise. So what are you guys thinking? So we had some people come in the chat. Taisha! Now these glasses, sometimes I can't see with the glasses on. It's certain things you can see and certain things you can't. She says, hey, DD and Divalicious fam. I love to say Divalicious, and she always puts that in the chat. Just wanted to drop in and say hello. I'm out with my hubby this afternoon. Okay, thank you, Taisha. We have Kate. Hello. We have Bellflower. How are you? Tangi, how are you? We have Tanya. No, not Tanya. That's Tracy. How are you? All right, all right. Okay, so Kate is guessing what's going on. Let's see. Tracy, I saw that. Bellflower, she thinks I went down. Okay, Kate says 2.5 pounds and you look good in the glasses. Thank you, thank you. You know, yeah, I just wonder about these glasses. Let's see. G says, sounds like my last week didn't feel too accomplished, but I've rebounded a little this week. Okay, good. The rebound that's what it's all about. Lost, and yes, teacher vibes with the glasses. I lost 2 pounds. You look gorgeous with the glasses. Thank you. As my students one day were like, oh my goodness, we love your glasses. And then half the time I couldn't see. I took them off. I put them on. I took them off. Okay. Let's see. Well, I could do this instead of holding them. I got the little librarian thing you put around your neck. Let's see. Vanessa, welcome. How are you? Look how cute you are. Look at you. Tammy, hello. Tammy says lost. Z says the glasses look great. Thank you. G thinks I lost. Okay, lost. You look beautiful today. Glasses. Thank you. Okay, all right. So I'm going to show you guys what actually is going on with me and this weight. Okay, so let's see. I am going to put it up there. Harjarine says I lost. Tracy says I lost. And Simply Taisha says I lost. Okay, all right, here we go. Bam. I hope I got the right thing up here. Okay, what is it saying? Oh, I lost 0.2. Guys, did you see that 0.2? Jeez, Louise. 0.2 pounds. I lost 0.2. So I was 232.4. I was 232.2 when I got on that scale. I lost 0.2 pounds. So I'm at 74.2. And you know, I have a thing with this 0.2 on that scale, but I'll take it. It's a loss. And I mean, even if I gain, you know, what I'm feeling good about is, and I always focus on these non-scale victories. My clothes are fitting loose. I'm working hard in my Pilates class. So I'm going to show you guys. I don't know if you saw me when I stood up, but you know, I'm not a big fan of taking whole body pics, but I've been trying to do a little bit more of that. But I have on a shirt that I could not fit. So I want to show you guys. Here's my shirt. I could not fit this shirt. And now I could fit it. I don't know how it looks. I never know how the back looks. But I have on this shirt. Look, and I have space. I have room. I cannot believe that. This shirt was so tight. I could not fit this shirt. So I am excited. That I am excited about. I saw this shirt and it actually had a tag on it. I should have probably not taken the tag off because I'll probably be giving it away, eventually here. But I said, geez, Louise, I could fit this shirt. This shirt was so tight on me. And really what I want to work on, and I'm doing this in Pilates because it's a lot of core. But my belly is just one of my areas where I really want to work on is slimming down my butt. And then I have my thighs going on. And you don't know if you can see my thighs. But, those are my two areas that I really want to focus on. And Pilates really focuses on, your glutes, your core, a lot of core work. So I am getting that in. But really, and I always say this, you can't outwork a bad diet, right? So if your eating is not up to par, it's just it is what it is. So that's why I really want to, tighten up this diet and get this tracking going. And I shouldn't even say diet. I'm just so used to calling it that. And, with me, I'll switch up what I'm doing. If something's not working, I switch it up in a heartbeat. So I'm really not committed to everything. But because I've tracked for so long, I kind of know like what I'm eating, how much how many calories or whatever the ground turkey is. I know all that stuff. I kind of just have it down because I've been doing it so long. So when I switch up, I got to plug it all back in and do something different. So that's what I've been doing. Down 0.2. I'm trying to get to that. I was like, maybe I'll try to get to 80 pounds before. One of the things, I see that, Taisha. I do with that 0.2. That 0.2 on the scale just loves me. Yes, you're right. A loss is a loss. And, one of the things I'm going to do is I think I'm going to just give myself a challenge starting July 1st. What day is July 1st? July 1st. And my birthday is on the 21st. So that I was thinking about doing this for 14 days. But for me, I said I'm going to give myself a challenge. So I'll tell you guys what that is. When is July 1st? Because the 4th is this Friday, isn't it? Oh, that's a Tuesday. So on Wednesday, I'll probably start my little challenge. Maybe I'll make a little video on Tuesday or put a post up what my little challenge is. So if you guys want to join me, and I'm going to do it up to my birthday, just to kind of get some momentum going into my birthday and then into, the last couple of weeks when I'll be headed to Texas. And and before you know it, school will be back in. I just cannot believe it. One of the things I said that I was going to do is I had all these plans. When I tell you every day, I have different groups of, like my retired teacher friends. I got my teacher friends that are currently, working, trying to get together with them. My cousin, shout out to my cousin Ange. It was her birthday yesterday, so I got to get together with her. I have another friend that we've been trying to get to the Cheesecake Factory, and she had people coming. We weren't able to go. So when I tell you I have something planned, and it's around food, because all these things are meeting out. And I don't have to choose. I could choose healthy. I know that, but I just got all these things going. All these plans going on. So I said, I'm going to just give myself a challenge to focus myself. So that's this week. This week, I got all these things. No, they start next week with all these things. So this week, I'm going to be really diligent about my diet. I'm going to get to that farmer's market. When I drop my daughter off at her summer camp, I'm going to go to the farmer's market. I'm going to get some fruits and vegetables, cut everything up. And I just really want to be on point with that. And so, because when you go out to eat, I mean, you can eat healthy, but it's still extra salt. It's still, it's still prepared at fast food. To me, people will say they'll go wherever I want to go. So I'm going to choose the healthiest, place I could go. Because, I always gain weight. That's another thing. I always gain weight up until my birthday because everybody wants to get together for my birthday. And I have so many different clusters of friends that, I'm eating out. I could be eating out every day. And I have in the past. So this way I'm just kind of, I don't know. We have what I love to do is usually go to Benihana. I kind of stayed away from that Benihana's, but I used to go to Benihana. I mean, yeah. Then what's today? Oh, my BFF, her birthday's July 1st. She lives in Buffalo, New York, which I think is where Jazzy MD is from. She's there. So I don't know if she's coming to town. She might be coming here to Ohio, and if she is, then that's another thing I need to be done. So it's so funny. I have so much going on, but I need to be focused and diligent. So that is my goal this week, is to be focused on my eating, and get that eating down. Get that eating down this week. So where you guys, a lot of you are right. I did lose, but it's that point too. It's going to follow me wherever I go. Okay, so Darren was saying, I think your weight went down. I also think your body is telling you to get some rest and recover. We always say, listen to our bodies. So some days you need to just rest and recover. Yes, and yesterday, Darren, I did that. I talked on the phone. I was doing a lot of talking on the phone. And why, just watching TV and, chatting it up and, so I relaxed, and I had planned to edit these videos. I was able to get one done today. Yeah, I have another interview that I need to edit. So that's my goal tonight, is to edit that video. And I was going to put it out on Tuesday, but I think I'm going to put it out on Wednesday instead of Tuesday. I think I'm going to get it out, but I'm going to have it ready to go today. And then I'm going to put out a video maybe a little bit later today. And then I have a couple more videos to edit. So I have all that to do. And, that requires sitting down, because I don't have a stand-up desk. So I'm going to get up, leave out of here when this is over. I'll get up, get moving, run a couple errands, or go somewhere, take my daughter somewhere real quick, and then come back. Her gymnastics moved to Wednesday. It's not Sundays anymore. So I don't have that to do right after, but she's used to going somewhere. So we're going to keep that going. We're going to do something, if it's not anything, but just let her go to Starbucks, because she has a Starbucks gift card that she wants to, it's burning a hole in her little purse. So I'll do that. But I got so much going on, but that stuff requires sitting down, to sit down and focus on this editing. So if I edit today, I have the interview and 2 more videos, really. If I could get those 2 done, that's great. Then tomorrow I'll focus on these closets. I still got my closets. I did the main closet. Now I have another closet to do. And then I have, I have these kimonos, the long ones, and I usually wear them with a t-shirt, a tank top. And they have gotten big. And so I might have to give these away. And they're so cute. They go cute with some jeans and just a regular little tank top and some sandals. And they're kind of too big. So one of the videos I have it on, I have one of these kimonos on that I'm working on now. And I don't think, no, it's the interview I did, I wore it. Oh, okay, I remember now. It's the interview I did, I wore it. I don't know if you could tell it's too big, but if it looks like it's too big, it's because it was. So I just got a lot going on. July is, like I say, such a busy month, because it's my birthday month, and everybody that hasn't been, I haven't seen or talked to, everybody calls and tries to get together with me around my birthday time. So I'm going to be a busy lady. That's why I'm going to give myself a challenge to focus, and hone in on my eating, so that I'm not so tempted to go off on a tangent. And the no buffets, I'm not, they have this one buffet that is super nice. And, you go on there and all the food is laid out. It's very good. It's a great quality. So it's kind of I guess it's a buffet, but people are actually there, standing there, serving you the food. It kind of reminds you of when you go on a cruise ship. I don't know if they have a carving station. Well, everybody is serving, not just at the carving station. And it's all you can eat. And it's a nice big old price. And I thought, do I really want to go there? Because that's going to encourage me to eat. And, that's probably where I went there last year on my birthday. And I said I was going to go back. Well, I'm not. I think I'm going to go somewhere super fancy, because they serve you tiny portions. When you go to that's how you're at an upscale restaurant, because for the most part, now it's never an all, but for the most part, the servings are small. And so I need to go somewhere fancy where the servings are small. So that's what I'm planning on doing. All right. So who do we have here in the chat? We have, let's see. Some people came in. Joe, hello, Joe. Yes, yes, yes. Darium said, oh, wow, it's going to be a new month and time for a new challenge. Yes, I'm going to tell you what it is, or what I'm doing on Tuesday. So if you guys want to join me on this challenge, and the reason I say I'm not telling it now, because I don't know what it is. I'm not sure. It's two things that I think that I need to tweak in my diet. And one of them, I definitely need to tweak. So it's just a matter of deciding. So, and I want to start July 1st. So if I think of it tonight, I'll just put up something on my post tomorrow, Monday morning. But I'm starting July 1st, and that'll give me 20 is like the countdown up to my birthday, and that'll keep me focused, because I'm telling you, when I say I have about 6 dinner and lunches planned, like those are the ones that are planned. I have 2 in queue that I haven't called back and talked to the people about. I have so much, and it's a good problem to have, right? But the thing of it is just, that's a lot of eating out. That's a lot of salt. I could just see my ankles right now are not going to be happy. So I'm going to have to really be strategic and take things home and make sure I ask the waiter, like, what has the least amount of salt, a good salad. And I'm going to probably have to hold everything but the lettuce. Because cheese has a bunch of salt, chicken has a bunch of salt, and I really only eat chicken, fish, and turkey. Salmon, I just have to have them season my salmon without the added stuff to it or whatever I get. So that's going to be my goal. Let's see. Let me see. I scrolled down a little bit too much. So, Joe, I always want to know this. What time is it in the UK? Thank you for showing up here. Thank you, Kim. Kim J, Sweet Healthy Live. Yes, yes, yes. You said happy early birthday. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to be 53. I cannot believe I'm going to be 53. If any of you have not reached 50, wait till you reach 50. When you reach 50, something about your mindset and your body just changes. It really does. When people have told me that, and I thought, I mean, that's just you, not me. But it's so true. It really does. Something switches, something changes, We all have to learn to also respect the loss in inches more, and nothing shows better than old clothing. Yes, 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 yes. And that's why I kind of focus on that. I focus on that. So my little dips and rolls, they might be there, but I'm slimming down into these clothes. Remember, Dee, slow does not mean never. Yes, you're right. Isn't that my saying? She did flipped it around on me. And you're right. So I'm really not trying to rush it, but I do have some goals. I have goals that I set for myself that I haven't even set on this channel. So I could get to it, so because I'm just one of those people. I work better when I have a target. Like a focused goal, like this is what I am doing. And another thing is I feel not as productive. I have a calendar. This is an old calendar, but I get a calendar like this. This is my calendar from last year. I haven't replaced this. But it has like quotes and stuff in it. But I get a big calendar. My daughter has a calendar too, and I write down everything I'm doing for the month of whatever it is, so I could stay organized with our schedules. And I haven't done that recently. I haven't done that in a while, and it has left me. And I have stuff in my phone, so that's my goal today. Is before tonight's over, if I have to stay up late, I'm gonna write down my schedule, the things that I have planned for the week. That organization keeps me focused. It really does. And then when I don't do that with my food and meal prep, I don't follow through and stay steady and true to it either. I just kind of, my goal was to plan, like Saturday, I didn't have a plan for what I was eating. I ended up making some tuna, and my daughter ate most of it. She loves that tuna. So she ended up eating that. I ate a little bit of it. I ate a serving of it. But, I didn't have like what I was planning. So I didn't even really get my eating in. And, that's another thing. I know when you do reduce your calories, you lose too. But sometimes you cannot lose a lot because your body is trying to hold on to it, especially if I've been getting 16 to 1800. This 12 and a half probably shocked my system there. It's probably like, what's going on, lady? So I got to get that in there. I got to get that eating in there. All right, so let's see. Elaine says, good afternoon, Diva family. Hey, Dee Dee. Hey, Elaine. Taisha is back. Look who's back. I'm getting on my walking pad now. Woohoo. I love that. I love that. She's a multitasker. Let's see. Real talk with Elaine. She says she just got home a few hours ago from Nashville and running errands to prepare for another flight at 7 a.m. Oh, I'm sorry about that. She's going to her cousin's funeral. Well, safe travels to you. I'm sorry about that, Elaine. Dee Dee, great. You got some rest yesterday, but you know it's okay to allow yourself a whole chill day. I know we talk about that a lot. When we talk, Kim, about me and this schedule of mine I have. Geez, Louise. Yeah, I will. Prayers for you and your family. Yes, that is so sweet, Bellflower. Okay. Do they have tapas? Is that what it's called? Tapas restaurants in your area? I hear they have nice variety of small plates, but I've never been. I've never been either, so I don't know. If it is, I don't know. It might be. I don't know. I have to look that up. Thanks for the suggestion. Yeah, I need some small plates. Well, you know, when I go to the Cheesecake Factory, they have small plates. They have this one salad that I really like. It's like low calorie, but you got to be careful with the dressing. So I'll be taking my own dressing. You know, like how they talk about having hot sauce in your purse. I don't do that because I'm not a hot sauce lady, but I will put some dressing and take it, put it in a little container and take it with me and put it in my purse. And I have this big purse. And I really don't. No, I'm not. That purse, I can't do that because if I messed up, I'll have to put it in a plastic bag. But if oil spilled in that purse, that would be a loss. So I can't use that purse. I'm going to get me like a little bag or something. I'm going to put my dressing in there. And that's what I'm going to be taking with me wherever I go to eat, just in case I want to know. Because I know what's in that dressing, right? I don't know what's in theirs. So let's see. Let's see. Debbie, hello, Debbie. How are you? How are you? Elaine says, Debbie, you look good. Look at that profile pic. Oh my gosh. So Debbie, how many pounds are you down now? Jeez, Louise. I was just looking at your video. You know, I was editing this video that this interview I had, and I was looking at your post and I said, geez, Louise. You probably have lost 25 or 30 more pounds since that interview. Elaine says, girl, the 50s is real. Embrace it and grow. Yes. Well, I am embracing it. You know, I have embraced 50, but it's just noticeable changes, of course, as your body ages. And I think when you're younger, you take a lot of things for granted. Now, if you're one of those people that didn't, geez, Louise, I wish I would have done that. I think I took a lot of things for granted I know. I took a lot of things for granted with my body and just my time, right? My time too. And I'm learning how to respect my time. That's one of the things. When that lady said, what was that her? Was that Maxine Waters? Was that Congress lady that said, I'm reclaiming my time? I'm reclaiming my time. And yeah, you know, I really, really am reclaiming my time. Okay. Beverly says, try Tao. Is it called Tao? Tao. It's an Italian bistro. I swear they have one in every city. You could dress up. It's elegant. It's very nice. We should try it. I went to one here in Connecticut and also went to one in Chicago. I think I have been to the one in Chicago. I have. I remember going to the one. I got hair everywhere, going everywhere. Yeah, I think I have been to the one in Chicago, but that's a good idea too. And you will get there. You will get it in there. Give yourself grace. Let the meds do its thing. As your body gets used to it, you will be able to eat more. Yes. So when people say that. Mail to the B, hello. When people say that, they couldn't eat and stuff on that medication, I just really never had that problem where I could not eat, like to this degree, I should say. I haven't wanted to eat. But yeah, just feeling like if I ate, I was going to have myself stuffed. Like that is a real thing. And I've been feeling that on this medication. So yeah, I'm going to have to, I'm a big believer in tweaking and keeping it moving. You know how, I shouldn't say this. This is probably a bad example because this guy is on trial right now, fighting for his life. But when he says, can't nobody hold me down, I got to keep on moving. That is me. And that is my story. And I don't let anything hold me down. I don't let people hold me down. I keep it moving. And I love that about myself. And I'm going to do the same thing in this with this weight loss. You know, I'm just going to tweak what I need to tweak and keep it moving. And yeah, but I do have to set some goals. I do, because if I don't set goals and have like a structure, I just can't function. Like, I'm very organized, structured person. Can you tell? I don't know. Can you tell? You know, is what I wanted to say too about being organized and structured. You know, I'm one of those people. My friends I have some friends that are late. It's two that are on time. And the one that's on time, she's like my parents used to be, very early. Like, so if we say this is like, if this was starting at 2, you know, my parents would be sitting here at 2:15, I mean 1:15, ready to go. At 1:15, I was like getting dressed, in the shower, get ready, because I knew I was leaving after. So, you know, but my friends have taught me to be late because they're so late. But if it's left to my own devices, if I have to go somewhere, I'm on time. So when I haven't been on time for these lives, which has probably been, I don't think I've ever even came on 5 minutes late, unless if I did, I probably just changed the time. But you know, I have been having to go to the restroom like at the last minute, and I try to go right before this starts. Now, usually when I play that intro, I can run out to the restroom and go and come right back here, and which is what I did today. But sometimes I haven't been able to do that because I couldn't go, but I knew I needed to. So I just waited and started this a little, you know, came on a minute or two late. So if I'm a little late, I'm not being a diva. I'm just using the bathroom. Unless my daughter, something came up with her, you know, then I think one time something came up with my daughter and I had to go downstairs. But other than that, you know, I'm just like a structured type of person. Hello, Healthy Spirit Podcast. Oh no, thank you for coming. Mel says, I have a cold. I'm feeling better than I was this morning. I guess my body is saying sit down. Yes, Mel, I was just talking about that, about myself too. Yeah, so you're another one. You're on the move, on the go, on the move all the time. Mindy, Mayor Mindy, how are you? Mindy, you officially hit that 100 pounds down. How are you doing? Kirsten's memories. She says, my July goal. Well, my July and first 2 weeks of August goal is to lose 6 pounds to get to your goal weight. Very good. You said on August 13th, I leave for a European cruise. All right, very good. And you're going to do that. I can see that. I can see it. We're calling it. We're putting that out in the universe. Bravo, Mel and Simply Taisha, on your video. You two should do more, perhaps even a Zoom. Darian's always trying to like hook people up and connect people, isn't he? Yes, we always love seeing the Mel B. I told her she's my it was Representative Maxine Waters. Yes, reclaiming my time. Yeah, I told Mel she's my resident. She's going to be she is my resident menopause lady, like with all things menopause, you know, so she's my expert. So she's going to come in here, my expert who's actually using it, you know, who's using the things that she's telling people about. So she's already signed up for that. You've got this, Dee Dee. You've created healthier habits along the way to go out to celebrate. Don't stress about eating out. Be intuitive. Ooh, you could take a walk for 10 to 20 minutes after you're done with some help. Yes, yes, yes. All right, my AP is giving me some good advice there. Yeah, you know what? I just do need to do that. You know, I really do need to do that. Darium, she's saying, thank you, Darium. Yes, yes, yes. Isn't it nice to see the beautiful Mel B? You know, we've all been trying to get her to start a channel, you know, to talk about stuff, but that's okay. I told her she could be my resident. But I don't think Mel wants to be out and about like that. Are we pressuring you, Mel? Do you feel pressured? I have a feeling though nobody can pressure you. So you know, I know that's nobody's gonna be pressuring Mel to the B. Debbie says I'm down 224 pounds, bouncing around in the in the 170s. Feeling excited for reaching my goal this year, Debbie. Oh my gosh, we got to give you some confetti. Jeez, Louise. How good is that? Excellent, excellent job. 224 pounds. Man, I mean, that's almost how much I weigh. Oh my gosh. That is amazing. You should feel so accomplished, so good about yourself. I mean, geez, oh man. I mean, I just don't know what to say. I need to give you a standing ovation or something. Geez, oh man. Woo-hoo. Go Debbie, go Debbie, go Debbie, go Debbie. I love that for you. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Geez, Louise. Bellflower says, I get it. Just make the process easier when it's planned out, even if it doesn't always, you don't always stick to it. Having it mapped out makes all the difference. Yeah, for me, and I know some people who could operate off the cuff. I used to teach with this lady. She's retired. We couldn't be different. She's also somebody we're trying to coordinate to get together. She's probably been retired for 6 or 7 years now. But just a sweet, sweet lady. But we teamed together. So we had a closet, like her classroom. We had a shared closet, and then my classroom, and then our shared closet. It had her side and my side. My side was neat, organized, everything together. Kind of, when you think of stuff with me, think of like Sleeping with the Enemy, where all those labels are turned facing a certain way. That's me. And then think of her. Everything was like chaotic all over the place. And one thing I always said, I wanted to be more like that. I feel like my mind could be freer, right? Because if you could just, you're not so worried about having everything organized. You always want what you don't have, right? And then her side, she was just chaotic. But if ever we said, oh, we need such and such book, or we need such and such manipulative for this math lesson, she could pull it right out. She knew where it was. On her desk, it was papers were everywhere. On my desk, we still laugh about this to this day. On my desk, everything is organized, ready to go. And I would lose stuff sometimes because I would hide it and put it away so good. Sometimes it took me a minute, but with all those papers everywhere, she knew where to go. She knew exactly where to go. She knew exactly what to do. So it's just so funny that, that thinking, that way I think. I'm just an organized, structured person to a fault sometimes. Like, sometimes I wish I could be just like easy breezy, just let it fly off the cuff. And sometimes I can be like, I have a creative side. So I think God balanced me out because I definitely do have that creative side. Hey, Dee GLP-1 dudes and divas losing it with Grace. I want to say the with Grace. Let me stop. Let me just call you Grace because I always want to say the with. It just flows. But no, we got to get your name together, Grace. Thank you, Tia. I'm determined. My doctors are so thrilled for me. They really are. Oh my gosh, look at you. You are doing it. You should be so proud. Mel B is the resident healthy advocate. She is also a pit bull that doesn't play. I have a feeling if she had a channel, Darian, you'd probably be the first one. When she went live, you'd be the first one on her live. Oh, she said it's so hard for her to sit down. Okay, yes, yes, yes. As you have proven over and over again, you can do hard things, Mel B. You can. She says, sit it down, Mel. Everybody's telling Mel to sit down. I think Mel sat down yesterday a little bit, I think. Mel, I told them the story about how I dozed off. I don't know if you heard that story yesterday, how I dozed off. I was tired too. I said, geez, Louise. Kate, hello, Kate. Look at that beautiful profile pic. She's giving us like a sneak peek. She says, I hit my July 1st goal a week early, 30 pounds down. Yes, let's give her some confetti. I love that. 30 pounds down. How about that? I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, all right. So she's 30 pounds down. Okay, and she said, but her mini goal for July is that not to gain on the business trip I have planned in the middle of the month. Okay, well, we're putting it out there. You are not gonna gain. Very good. I love the profile pic too. It's like, it's very cute, very cute. Pretty. That is true. No pressure here. Yes, 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 yes. And I think too, when you say for people to to be we always say you should be a content creator, do this and that. But some people just don't want to do it. And also, some people are professionals, where you know, every little thing you do, your job is probably going to be watching you. And not that you're doing anything bad, because I say that, but if you talk, you know, if you talk to people that really know me, I'm one of the most unproblematic people. You know, I'm not really doing anything. But and it's so funny because I'm the one of the ones that's careful. But you know, when you have when you're a professional, or you know, people work for the government, people could work for business. They don't want their employees necessarily online. So I think people have to remember that and be respectful of that when they're saying, "Oh, go do this and that," because everybody's job, you know, it does not allow for that. You know, it's a lot of folks, and of course they're saying and doing things inappropriate, but there's a lot of folks that have been sat down because of things they said or opinions they've had. And one thing about going live is, which, you know, it's hard to censor yourself because you're just talking off the cuff. And I mean, if you can do that, great. I have a hard time censoring myself. When I'm on here, you know, because you just never know what you're going to say or how you're going to respond to people. So I always tell people, you know, keep it positive. You know, when you're on here, keep it positive, making these videos. You know, somebody could send videos to your job. You just never know. And I feel like if you have that much time, we got to find you another hobby. If you're actually somebody that's doing that, you know, having time to report folks and stuff like that. But you just never know what people will do. So I say people are going to get on your nerves. People are going to make comments that you don't like. You know, keep it positive. But if you want to do an alley roast every now and then, I mean, I guess that's go for it. Just don't put my name in it. So if you roast me, somebody's gonna be calling you. You're gonna get a knock on that YouTube door. Like, no, 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 sir, no, ma'am. You gotta keep it cute. You know, you can't. You just gotta be careful on here. I think we gotta remember that. But anyway, I said all that to say, you know, for people that don't want to do this YouTube, it's not easy. It is not easy. It is not easy at all. Who got me off on this tangent? Darian, I'm trying to convince Mel to get on, have her channel. Debbie saying, thank you very much. No wheelchair for me. Very good. I love no wheelchair, right? Because you've been working out and doing out. What's going on with your daughter? You know, sometimes kids don't want to be talked about. Meanwhile, my daughter is like, she's dying to be on here. But she's younger. So your daughter is older. Did she ever get on that weight loss journey? I got to catch up with you, Debbie. Dee Dee, I thought of you this morning. I lost a little weight on the cruise and now I'm down 101.2. Yes, yes, yes. What's up with that 0.2? We'll take it. We're 0.2, sister. You know, and I love how, first of all the people that went on that cruise, I love that cruise. You know, I was promoting that cruise, even though I couldn't go on the cruise. I love the idea of the cruise and people getting together. And I'm just so glad you guys saw each other, you met up. But to see so many people now, I was watching Chris and Lorraine, and they were saying people brought their scales on the cruise. If I say I'm taking a scale on the cruise, and if you did that, that's okay for you. But for me, stop me. I do not want to take a scale on the cruise. That's going to mess up my cruise. Because I'm going to be so worried about what I'm eating. But I guess what you could do, which is I know is what Mel did, because I felt like I was on that cruise. I was talking to Mel. But Mel, what Mel did was she walked the steps. You know, she walked up the steps. She didn't take the elevator. It sounds like she got more steps in on that cruise than on her regular day, you know, out and about in the city, in Florida. So, you know, I think that's a great strategy. You know, eat what you want. I was wondering, you know, or people on that cruise, like looking at what somebody else was eating and how they were eating. I bet you that probably was going on a little bit. But the good thing is you know, what's great about that cruise, or anytime you're getting folks together with like minds, it's like you all kind of have the same thing. So if you all go out with me, don't be looking at what I'm eating and how much am I eating and mentioning what I'm eating, because you know what, my dad does enough of that and I don't like that. before I told him I was, on a weight loss journey, he was noticing. I don't know if you remember, he was noticing and he would say little things here and there. He would look at me a little different. Now that he knows, he's trying to police what I'm eating and how I'm doing it. And I don't like that. Like, I don't like to be policed. Like, just let me be. That's one of the reasons why. And it really, I'm not even, it's like if you eat a portion more than what he thought. You know what I'm saying? He thinks, like, I have these mission wraps that I eat, and I put them in the oven, and I've learned to make those into tortillas, so I won't buy the tortillas, right? You could, make those crispy and make it serve as a tortilla. 17 grams of fiber. You can't go wrong. So, and so it has, and the net carb is lower because of all that fiber, kind of offsets it. But anyway, he'll say you shouldn't even be eating that wrap, so that's the kind of thing that annoys me when people, critique everything you're eating and what you're doing. It makes you self-conscious about what you're eating in public when people do that. So if you're doing that to somebody, please stop it. Unless you have a good reason to, right? Unless you have a good reason. So I'm going to be going out with, I have a lot of lunch, dinner dates coming up in the next couple weeks leading up to my birthday. And I'm going to have to let people know before, because I know I already know the people that may do that. And before we sit down, I'm going to say, look, don't police what I'm eating. If you have a question about it, you can ask me, but don't do that, because it's very annoying to me. So I just wondered if people were doing that on that cruise, but you guys were all kind of in the same, you're all have been on a weight loss journey. So maybe that didn't happen, on that cruise, but I just love that. You said that's true, DD. I work for the government and we have to be careful with our online presence. Yes, even if you work for a business, I'm going to tell you, if you had a business, most business people are going to, like a boss, they're not going to really want their employees online. And they may say, oh, we don't care. But when somebody calls up and complains, they're going to be on it. So you just have to be so careful with what you're doing online. I really do. And I think sometimes people let their emotions get the best of them, and they're not mindful of that. And that, I mean, content creators and people that are subscribing, because I've watched people, not necessarily, when I talk about stuff, it's not always like our genre. I watch other YouTube videos, I watch trading things. I watch, how to make the YouTube videos and all of that. And when I'm watching some of these things, people are saying things and they're saying things, and I'm thinking, and they're saying, oh, I dislike this video because, and it's like, if you disliked it, I don't know. I just think it takes to hit a dislike button. Like, what goes on with that where you felt like you needed to hit the dislike button? To me, I would just keep it moving. But and I don't know. And even before I became a content creator, I just kind of was like, I don't want to dislike the video. I don't like it, but I guess I just won't be back, or this isn't the topic for me. But I noticed that people are just not nice. Like, these days, people are not the nicest. And I don't really like that. Yeah, I don't really like that. I just don't. Dee, that's a word right there. There is no expectation of privacy online, and people try to weaponize your content to come for your livelihood, reputation, family, finance, and fundamentals. Yes. And people could, and like I say, I just think a lot of times when people don't want to show, I've had people on here who were in the chat, and then they emailed me, and their picture is not shown, and they emailed me and said, this is how I look. I just wanted to say hi. They can't really show their face. And one person I'm thinking of in particular is a business person, and she offered to help me with some, things like, that she does related to her business. And I respect that. I really respect that, because that was me. That was me before, I ventured out and started showing my face. So yeah, I just think we got to be so respectful of that, and stay positive. Because if you're not positive over here, we got to boot you out. Now, can I take criticism? Absolutely. Could you say, but you can't really tell how people say things online. People, your sarcasm or your bluntness, sometimes people don't, may not respect that. For me, I do. Like, when I feel somebody out, and I know, like, if, so I'm going to use I'm going to use, who have I talked to? I'm going to use Mel as an example just because I've talked to her on the phone and she's not a content creator. But if I'm talking to Mel and I know how her tone is and how she is, when she leaves a comment, I'm going to know how to roll with that. Jen F is another one. Jen, I want to give Jen a shout out. I don't know if Jen's in here still, but Jen was following me when I was, not showing my face on camera. She was, commenting on my videos and stuff. And I know Jen she's kind of blunt when she leaves a comment, right? So I never take that a certain way. I guess I probably should, but I'm one of those people, I don't really think people's problems are about me or issues, or if they seem upset about something, I feel like, why are you upset about that? I don't really attribute it to myself. Maybe maybe that bothers people, but I don't. You got to let me know that you're upset with me. I don't do subliminals. I don't take, if I have a feeling you're upset with me, I'm going to ask you about it. So same thing. It's hard to do that in the comment section. So when you're leaving a comment, and it sounds like you're, coming for me in a way, I'm just going to kill you with kindness. That's just what I do. That's what I know to do. That's what I'm going to do. I sleep very good at night when I can get it in because I treat people the way I want to be treated. So I'm sticking with that because it kind of works for me. So yeah, this online thing is a thing. It's a thing. But yeah, so I say keep it positive because I don't really want to be associated with you if you don't. Right? I just don't. I want to be associated with some positivity. And I mean that. That's definitely true. And do I get upset and stuff? Yeah, but I'm never going to come on. Well, stop me if I come on here and do that. Because I always say never say never. But I don't want to be associated with that. So yeah, you got to you got to watch out. And another thing is, I was saying, I'm interviewing with people, and when you ask people to interview, or when people reach out to me about coming on my channel, I also want people to come on my channel and look at the history of my work and think it's a nice, it's a positive, nice hit documentation of what I'm doing. I don't want people to come on here and say, oh, she got this video where she let somebody have it. And if I let you have it, if it bothers me that much, it's probably somebody I talk to where I could let you have it in person. Certainly, I'm not going to really let somebody online get to me that much. Now, I say that now, a girl has a right to change her mind. So if I change my mind, I could do that, but I doubt it. So anyway, Darium, that comment got me off on a tangent. Stop with all those great words, Darium. Tia, you take your scale every trip, business as usual. Tia, you've been weighing in every day. I could never do that. Like for me, no. That scale is not going to disturb my peace. Now, I say if you're somebody who can do that, I give you credit. And actually, I did weigh myself every day. I'm gonna have to make a video about it because I tried it. I forgot a couple of days, and it just kind of validated for me why I don't do it. That scale was up, down, all around, like upside down. You turn to me. I said, where is Diana Ross up in this place? Because, geez, Louise. I really thanked a guy for my first nasty comment. He said I was almost double. Are you saying double? I thought doable. What? I thought it was funny. Last thing I'm worried about is. Oh, my goodness. Now, I would have had to let him have it in the most teacher appropriate way. Yes. And people who say that, it's like, how do you know somebody wants you? I love it when people make those comments like they would what they would do. How do you know would want to even consider you? I mean, geez, Louise, I could tear somebody down in my comments. Yeah, but those kind of things, though, this is where that self-esteem has to kick in, and but I can see if you've heard that, if you've heard that over and over and over and over and over again. A lot of people have things, the trauma that led up to that. But if a stranger on the internet is saying that to me, and they're not showing their face, and I can't, say that that's them, I'm just not gonna let it bother me, because 9 times out of 10, you've never been my type. Oh my goodness, too funny. Debbie, I love it, Debbie. Guys, I have to go. I have an appointment. You guys have a great Sunday. Bye, Bev. Bev, you must be doing better. We have to catch up. People are saying bye to Bev. Jamie, hello. She says, I agree. The food police could go somewhere else. We police ourselves enough. Yes, 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 yes. So I'm going to have to let you know, Jamie, if the food police is following me around on my birthday. And my dad, I told you, my dad has been the food police. He's back to that. It drives me insane. That's probably another reason why I waited to tell him. And it's stuff I can see if I'm eating like chips, ice cream, cookies, you know, and all that. But no, it's like, I just think that's just like his way of talking to me, honestly, actually. Turns out my 6-year-old grandniece was telling her friends' parents what to eat to be slimmer. I explained that that's not cool. Bless her. Aw. She was explaining telling her friends' parents what to eat to be slimmer. Wow, very good. Well, you know what? I wonder where she's gotten her information from. The fact that she even knows that, I think that's kind of good though. But yeah, that's just kind of like a social etiquette, what you have to tell, say to people. Yeah. I went on a cruise. You went on the cruise, Vanessa. Okay. And you've never worked out on vacation before until now. I hit the fitness center. I was so proud. Even if I didn't recognize myself, and I had some dessert every night. Well, we're going to give you some confetti. Yes, yes, yes. And you know why? Not because you ate that dessert, not necessarily because of that, but we're going to give you some confetti is that you worked out in that workout center. Because I remember a point when I went on vacation where people, my friends and stuff would be taking their shoes and their workout outfits, and I'd be like, Now I probably would do that. I would do that. I would take that. Now I wouldn't take a scale, Tia, but I would take that. And I'm going to tell you, one of my friends, I always say I got like 3 or 4 BFFs. So when I say that, it is different people. But my one saying, she lives in Texas. And she came here, she comes to visit from time to time. And the last time she came here, I want to say it was last September. So it's been like a year. And so she came, and so, she runs marathons. She's like Tia, she's like you, Tia, always looking for something to, do. She's been a runner, track since college. And so she said, oh, it's raining. One day, she's like, oh, it's raining. And I said, okay. I said, well, so I guess you're not going to go, because I was taking her to the park. They have a track there for her to run the track, walk the track or run the track. And so she's like, oh, no, I'm still going to go. I said, you are? So not me. So not me. So you know what? This is what, now remember, this was last year. So now if it would have been this year, not the whole last year, this not September of 2024, 2023, actually. So it's been a little bit, almost 2 years now. So, but yeah, so I said, did she come last year? She walked around my neighborhood the last time. But when she said that, she's like, come on, are you going to do it? I said, oh no. So I went, dropped her off at that trail where it starts. I parked the car. I watched her walk. Couldn't see her because, the trees and everything. I mean, it's like a big park. But I sat there. And at that time, I wasn't on YouTube or anything. I think I probably watched a movie or talked on the phone. But that's the cat. See, this is why I say you have to give people credit, because a lot of us have come so far. So for people to be so hard on us, especially people who have never struggled with weight, it's just a lot. So I think, I think you kind of have to give yourself grace. Because for me to go to dropping her off now, you know what I would do? And Bria, are you listening? So now when she comes, you know what I might do is walk the mile with her, or if I do drop her off, because I'm not an outdoors girl, if I do drop her off, I'm going to go home and walk on my treadmill until it's time to pick her up again. That's what I would do. Or I would walk, somewhere else. But I think, it's that you walk one time around and it's a mile. And I used to do that with the boyfriend I had. We used to walk the park. That was his thing to do. And we would do that. And I've done that with a couple of my friends, so I will walk outside, but in the rain, no, I'm not walking outside. But that's dedication. So she is that. So now she is one of those people that sees me now just, working out and getting on my treadmill, and she knows I don't love it. And she, she'll text me, where she caught one of these videos, and she'll say, great job, keep up the good work. You look great. So everybody needs that little push. But I just, wanted to say that, because some people have gone from sitting on the couch all day to like moving around in the house. That's a big deal for some people, right? That's a big deal. Just Vanessa just said, you know, working out on a cruise for her is a big deal, which she would have never done that before. And so I love that. And she rewarded herself with dessert. And I love that. I think that's cool. I think you should. I think you have to give yourself you know, some pleasure sometime, because if you don't, it's gonna, you know, it might get in the back of your head. I'm missing out. And then you know, you go off on a tangent, which is I just did right now. Yes, no scale victory, no scale for me on vacation. We can say give grace and then don't give it. Give grace to yourself and others. For instance, if I gain a few pounds on vacay, I will come back off. It will come back off in due time. Very good. Yes. I didn't hear anyone talking about what anyone else was eating. If it happened, it wasn't around me. Okay, good. But I didn't say talking about. I mean, did you see people like giving that look like, oh, like, oh, what is Taisha eating? You know, Taisha, what is Male to the B eating? What is Mayor Mindy eating? Like that. Sometimes people don't have to say it. It's those looks. But maybe in your setting, because you guys have all been on similar journeys with the GLP-1, that's what I'm saying. It might have been a little different. But I love that. I love that, Taisha, that you didn't feel that way on your trip. It's Darium. I just like how diet culture will infiltrate at the community. Please stop talking about what someone is eating. You have no idea, and and what they truly are eating and how often. Hashtag not a doc. Hashtag not a dietitian. Hashtag not a YouTuber. Yes, yes, yes. But I do think if people are saying it in a helpful way, I think that matters, right? You know, I think that matters because, you know, I'm going to use Taisha as an example, and she hasn't done this, but if she was to call me up and say, you know, hey, Dee, you know, what's going on? You know, you're stuck. What are you eating? I'm going to be open to that, right, from her. I'm going to be open to that. If she left it in the comment section, I would be open to that because I think she has good intentions, you know, and wants to see me do well on this journey. But, you know, sometimes people come off, you know, I have this one person that's always up in my comments talking about I should be eating all this fat, all this fat. And, you know, they were hitting me over the head with it. And now they've loosened up. They've loosened up because I've, you know, killed them with that kindness, said things in a kind way. And so now they've kind of loosened up, and their comments are more kind on how they're trying to approach it. But, you know, it's like, you know, so I give them credit, you know, for that. And I think, you know, a lot of times people bounce off your energy, right? So if you're coming with this, you know, rah energy, they're going to come back with that. If you're coming with this calm down energy, you know, rephrasing things, they're going to come with that. But, you know, emotions are involved. When your emotions are involved, it's so hard. Way to go, Vanessa. Yes, yes, yes. I think that's so cool. All right. She says, yes, Vanessa, I was in the fitness center too. Taisha and I hit up the sauna. Yes, yes, yes. And, you know, I was telling you guys, well, I don't know if I was telling you guys, but I was telling Mel, one of my friends has a sauna in her house. And she's, you know, she looked up all the benefits to that sauna. So that's another thing I was not open to, going into a sauna until I think she's had one in her house for 3 or 4 years now, maybe longer than that. She has a sauna. And she gets in it every morning before school. She's also an educator, teacher. She gets in it, and the benefits are just wonderful. So yeah, that's something I would do too, I think. I've never was open to doing that before, going into a sauna, but now I think I would. So I think that's cool that you guys went on that on your cruise. Let's see. I couldn't fit a sauna in my house if I wanted to. I don't think my house is big enough for a sauna. Actually, let's see. You say, me too, Dee. I don't dislike. I just move on to the next video. But some people are just like that. Yeah. I mean, I guess if you really dislike a video, you know, I'm not saying don't dislike it if you know, but I just think, I don't know. It's just like, something in me, it won't let me do it. And now, and I have done it before when somebody has just been on their videos, like being nasty at people and stuff. I have done it. But in the past, like, you know, before I was a content creator, now that I'm a content creator, you know, I think twice and think like, you could just keep it moving. Right. And I'm not one of those people. It really has to be something where I hit a dislike button. But and I thought to myself, like, I could just keep it moving. I don't even have to watch that video. So, and I guess, when you're in, we always know that though, right? When you're in those shoes, you kind of think a little different. That's it. Even if they are being mean on purpose, the key is to remember it's not about you. They are grumpy, miserable individuals trying to feel better, thinking they can rain on your parade. Yes, 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 yes. And I've learned that from being like my union rep person over the years that, I would be involved in like people in a dispute, and 9 times out of 10, what they were upset about, the root of it wasn't what you did that day. It was things going on that kind of led up to them being fed up, and you might have been that icing on the cake, right? But you weren't that one that like made it all the dominoes fall down. And I think people have to remember that. And so that's how I approach people. And, you guys probably think Dee Dee's always in a good mood, this and that. That's how I kind of stay that way. Now, I do get irritated. I think it's the perimenopause. But I do get irritated, and I've had times where I've been irritated and just things just annoyed me to no end. But I'm never like in a bad, nasty mood. Like, I thank God for that. I really am not. I don't know if anybody could ever say, my cousin lived with me for a long time. He could never ever say that he caught me in being in a bad, evil mood or mad about something or waking up that way or this or that. If I ever got heated, it was like something heat worthy happened. So yeah, and I just thank God for that. I think that was just like you're born with certain dispositions, and I think that was mine. So I just consider myself blessed. I don't think everybody has to be like that, and I don't think everybody will be like that, and that's okay. That's okay. God made us individuals. You paid a lot of money at Vanessa. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. Yes, yes, yes. You hit you hit up the sauna and helped someone who was in the bushes. Oh, you are so funny, Daria. Oh my goodness gracious. Don't let them win. Yes, yes, yes. So true, Tia. That's the thing. It doesn't disturb my peace. I was up today and eating pizza for lunch. It's just a number. Okay. All right. Very good. You're eating pizza. You might get a comment in the comments. I dare you to say that on one of your videos. They'll be like, lady, that's why you only lost part 2.2. You're eating pizza. It'll have to be a nice short week and a long July 4th weekend. Yes, yes, yes. It is nice to have a short week. I agree. Great stuff, Vanessa. You sound like a lady that's doing well, figuring out how to live your healthy, sweet life. Oh, Kim, I love that. I hadn't had dessert in 3 months, so I savored every bite in 3 months. Everyone I ate with ordered it too. There was no judgment. It was a celebration. I absolutely love that. Congrats to you. Vanessa, I also had a snack with my lunch and dinner every single day on the cruise. They were tiny and delicious. Yeah. And isn't that key, that portion control? I think that's the portion control. Oh, Dee Dee, my daughter got medical insurance, a new job. She is getting a dietitian and a doctor who is going to put her on the GLP-1. She even started a YouTube channel. What? That is huge. That is huge. Because remember in our video, I was trying to give you strategies of how to get her to the gym. Oh my gosh, we got to give your daughter some confetti. We love that for her. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, okay, okay. I love that. Very good, very good. Let's see, let's see. What are we saying? I think I scrolled down a little bit too much. Okay. I just cannot believe that. That is so cool. Let's see. Let's see. I think I scrolled down way too much. Okay, maybe I did not. Okay, so I just scrolled past when Kim said, "Sit down." Mel, sit down. Okay, I think I'm back to where we were. Let's see. So Taisha, we're gonna give Taisha some confetti. She had a snack on vacation. Now I hope it doesn't throw me off where I was at in the chat. Jeez Louise. Very good. Vanessa and Taisha, enjoy a snack. And I love that. And then we talked about your daughter. Someone told you in a comment that you eat too much. It made my day. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, and so I love how you're approaching it though. You got to be open to criticism, and it's gonna upset you. I get that, but you gotta, get the criticism, and either you're gonna accept it, make a change, tweak it, or you're gonna be like, this is what I do, and just keep it moving, right? And then, and unless that person is continually coming back saying things, I would just take it as a one and done. You know what I'm saying? But if they're coming back saying things, then it's time to, like, get those folks off your channel, because you don't want people stressing you out on your journey. I think there's a difference between solicited and unsolicited advice. So many folks are silenced because fear of judgment or what others will say. Yeah, 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 yeah. I agree with that too. I agree with that too. But as a content creator, you got to have some thick skin. I will say that you really do have to have thick skin. You got to, keep it moving. It might annoy you, but you got to keep it moving. I do want to clear up, and in that video where I interview Allie, I was talking about how, like, I've had an Allie moment where I wanted to do a roast, but I didn't. Well, that was a comment somebody made about diversity. I had put up a post about diversity, and somebody made a comment and said that diversity, so it was something about, it was a Maya Angelou quote, and you can Angelou quote, and you can actually see it. It's still up there on my post. And somebody, his comment is not, though it was deleted, but he said this is not true. Research has shown that diversity is harmful, and I didn't even respond. But when I tell you, it irritated me so bad. It's like, first of all, sir, this was like a positive comment, a positive quote. And if you had something negative to add, say it to whoever you're with and keep it moving. Why did you come on my channel to post that? I was so irritated because it was such a beautiful, it was a quilt, and it was, and I always like to liken anything with diversity to like crayons in the crayon box. Yeah, we could all use a red crayon to color, but aren't the colors more beautiful when you use, a variety of colors? Now, maybe for a heart, if you just want a red heart, that's okay. But for the most part, if somebody told you to make a beautiful picture, and, most people, not everybody, but most people, or paint a picture, most people aren't going to just do one color. If you do blue, you might add a little white to it to lighten it up. You might add a little black to it. You might add a little, pinkish to it, or whatever color. You might add birds to it, whatever you're going to add to it. It's the diversity, to me, is the spice of life, right? And so that's just my opinion, but it's my channel. So that's why I put it on my channel. And so I always liken it to that. And so, he said, oh, I'm just going to prove that, research proves that diversity is very harmful. No, it's like, first of all, I didn't agree with it. And second of all, so that comment, if I could have did an alley roast about anybody, that it would have been him. And as you could see, I probably would have put a positive spin on it, because I wouldn't have known enough about him to even be able to say. He did have a picture. He had a name that was like a name. It's not even a name you could look up in a name book. It was like some random name, and he probably just trolls the internet. I'm imagining him, and it could have been a her, but I just thought it was a him. He could have been trolling the internet, trying to find all things, nice and lovely, and making a negative comment. So, like, again, it probably didn't start with me. And so, but it irritated me. So if I ever were to make a video about, it would be about diversity, but I put a positive spin on it. They need to mind their own business that pays them. Yes, yes, yes. LOL. I don't restrict and say it all the time. I eat what I want, but I also do it with common sense. Well, and I think you are also losing, Tia, because you do a lot of working out. So I think you probably still stay in a calorie balance, or some kind of way balance those calories out before the end of that week. So, and then that exercises, you're burning when you're just sitting around because you're doing that strength training. So you got a lot of things going well for you. I just subscribed to your channel, Debbie. Yay, Debbie. Okay, very good, very good. So you have to let us know about your daughter's channel too. That's true. People think because you have a channel, it gives them a green light to say whatever they want. They see you as entertainment, not a person. It's ridiculous. Yes, 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 yes. I know. I agree, Tia. And that's why we got to have a thick skin, right? We got to have a thick skin. I say this is my claim to fame, a thick skin. And I'm not a sensitive person. I knock on wood. thank goodness. And if you are, that's okay. We're just going to work on that, right? Because we don't want you getting so upset. So you got to have a thick skin. You got to put a positive spin on it. And you got to disconnect from the comment being so much about you. Because I always say, just like, when people are negative, it stems from something that's probably not with you. And I see Vanessa I had to laugh, Vanessa. Mary, how are you? How are you? Look at you. She says, proud widow of a vet. Oh my goodness. Oh, that is so awesome. Oh, I love the profile pic. You're so clever with these profile pics, Mary. Love it. Vanessa says, alley roasts are my guilty pleasure. Yes, 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 yeah. And some of them when she first started, would look at them, and then I said, like I told her, I told her on here, I said, my teacher heart just will not let me watch it. I felt so bad, but yeah, she will roast you. And she said her goal is, to make people think twice about coming on somebody's channel and saying whatever they want, right? And so I get that. Don't you get that? I kind of get that when she said that. I do. I get what she's saying about that. So yeah, it's just funny. Yeah, those Allie roasts. I figure people who are watching her channel, you gotta love that, right? That's probably one of the things you love about it. She says, same Vanessa, Allie is the MVP. We gotta kill him with kindness, Tia, with kindness. I was told I had thick skin when I was having my heart monitor fitted. I think they mean that. Not that kind of thick skin, huh? That is so funny. I love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. All right. All right. Well, very good. I made it through the whole comment section. You guys are super awesome. Anybody else celebrating something before we get off of here? Anybody want to celebrate something? Yeah, I do want to say though, let me just say my last comment before I'm out of here is when I also want you guys to take too, when somebody is saying like they don't do that, that's something they don't like, it's nothing against you if you do. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of times, when people say, like I always bring this up as an example. I have this, friend that we work together. And she's slim. I want to say she's like a size 4. She might be a 2. She might have slimmed down to a 2. Maybe she might have been a 6'4", and now she's like a 2. But she was noticeably losing weight. You could see like she has abs for days. Like her abs, she was a 6-pack. She might have an 8-pack now. And she works out faithfully, but she's not the healthiest eater. She's not the best eater, but she does work out, rain, sleet, or shine. She doesn't lift weights though. So that's why I need to try to get her to use these weights. But so anyway, she told me, now just think, she's a size 2'4". This is what I'm saying. People have to not associate things with themselves. She said it bothered her when people were asked saying that she lost weight and how good she looked. Mind you, she's from a 6 to maybe she's a 2'4". She said it bothered her because she thought to herself, what must people be thinking about what I was looking like before? So she couldn't even take the compliment because she was so unhappy with how she looked at that size 6 or 8 or whatever she was before. That's what I'm saying. It's really not about you. For me, if somebody's telling me I look good now, and people have said, oh, you look so nice, or you're getting looks and stuff now, I'm not going to be bashing those people who didn't find me attractive at 300 pounds. People have their preferences, and it just doesn't bother me. It's like, okay, maybe I do look better now. I'm taking it as that. I'm not sulking around saying I must have looked terrible at 300 pounds. That is the way my mind works. That's the way I think. If you were doing that, and like the fact that she's doing that at a size 2, you know what I wanted to say to her? And I probably did. I can't remember what I said in that moment. I really wanted to give her a hug. She was sitting in the hallway telling me this, and her kids were going to the restaurant. So I didn't want to hug her right there. But I thought this lady, she needs a hug because the fact that she is that, she was that size and she went down smaller, and she obviously didn't see herself beautiful at a size 6. And now that she's smaller, she does. She was more worried about what people thought of her at the size 6. Now, for me and you, a size 6 might be goals, right? It's goals for me. But for her, a size 6 was huge. So I think that's also something we have to do in this GLP-1 community is stop, stop relating what somebody else is doing with us. And people don't just do it with weight. They do it with a lot of things. Like, oh, Downsizing Diva said, keep it positive. That's for her. That's not for me. And having an attitude because I said that. Well, that's for me. So we got to do that with everything. We got to do that with everything. I think we have to stop thinking people have to be like we are. And, we all know, we say it, let's be different. We really don't want to be. We say, oh, God made us all different. We really want us to be the same. And I get socializing with people who you have similar interests with, or you have an attraction to, or whatever. There is that. But there also is, we got to be able to survive in a space, which we've seen is lost in America nowadays, where people are different and we can still find commonalities, even in the differences, right? So even if I'm 300 pounds and you're 200 pounds, my goal is to get to 200 pounds. That does not, make your journey to lose from 200 to get to your 120. That does not make it any less. That makes it your special journey. So on this channel, I've been saying that from day one. I think sometimes people are sleeping on these videos, not watching them to the end. Or just forgetting, and I always tell the story about my mom was a size 2, 4, 6. That was her range. She ranged in those, sizes. My grandmother her nickname was Tiny. That's how small she was. And when my mom got up to a size 12, she was miserable. Well, guess what? That's my goal size, a size 12. Now, if I get down smaller than that, I'll be glad, but I have some of my mom's clothes. That's a 12. My goal is to get down into those. Now, if my mom was taking a GLP-1 in this day and age, my mom has passed on, but if she was taking a GLP-1, do you think I'd be criticizing that she started at a size 12 or she started at a size 8? I would not. And I think the reason why people do that is because it was scarce, right? When we first started this GLP-1 journey and we hit that shortage, I think it was the crabs in a bucket mentality where it was scarce. This GLP-1 was scarce. So people were saying, no, we should get it if we're diabetic. You shouldn't have it. Oh, we should get it because we're 300 pounds. We're obese. You're not in the obese category. And I think that's the reason why all of that started. Now, are there some haters that just think like you shouldn't be losing weight? If you're not obese, you shouldn't get this GLP-1. And I call them haters. I probably shouldn't. I'm going to spank my own hand. But I'm sure it's people who think like that, and let them think that. I really don't even care that they think that. It's like, don't come on this page with that. That's what I say. Spread that word if you know somebody who thinks that, because to me, I just think it's all relative. I think it all starts with your own journey, whatever it is. So I don't care how, if you've got 10 pounds to lose, if you got 20 pounds to lose, if you got 65 pounds to lose, like I have another 65. If you got 100 pounds to lose, we all have our struggles within that. My daughter is a tiny little lady. She said, she's one of the few kids I knew growing up that wore the same size as her age. When she was 12 months, she was wearing 12 months. When she was a newborn, she was wearing newborns. When she was 3 months, she was wearing 3 months. She's 8, she wears a size 6. Most kids always wear more than their age, the size of their clothing. Not all kids, but a lot of kids. And the doctors even told me this. But my daughter has kept, her weight. Now, she's in a size 6 right now, 6X. What if something happened and over the summer she got up and she couldn't fit any of those size 6 clothes and she, got out of her weight? I would have to buy her all new clothes. Don't you think her body's going to have an adjustment? She's going to be a little bit uncomfortable because she put on some pounds. That's the adjustment that people go through with this medication. So just like I say, if I was somebody who was lounging on my couch and now I can get up the nerve to get on that treadmill or go to Pilates, give me credit for that. Don't bash me because I'm not, getting up, working out an hour a day and doing, this, that, or the other. So I just think that we got to kind of have to do better with what our expectations are of what people can do. Like Debbie was in a wheelchair. Now she's not. That's a big goal. So for her to even go to a gym is an accomplishment. Get off my channel if you're one of those people that want to regulate these GLP-1s, because they're not going to be regulated over here. And you know what? I'm about to be out of here because my daughter just brought me my Beyonce fan.
My Beyonce fan.
I love you guys. You know, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. I appreciate you all. I have a blast with you guys. I will see you on a Wednesday. If you're on Monday, I'll see if you're in Taisha's live on Monday. I will be there. I probably will drop this video later today. So I may do that later today. Drop this video. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. We have a super chat. Who is this?
Wait a minute. I think I like her.
Okay. Vanessa, thank you. She says, thanks for all you do, Dee Dee. Love your GOP, love the GOP month community. Love you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I love you guys too. Honey, thank you. This has just been such a great year being on this GOP1 community. And on Wednesday, I'm going to talk a little bit more about us getting together, and I'm going to make sure it's not, conflicting with other things that are going on in the community. But yeah, we all got to get together and kind of meet up, right? We got to be fabulous in person at some point. So thank you. You guys have a great day. Let me give you a thank you, and then we're out of here. Thank you. I love that. All right. Have a great day. Happy Sunday, everybody. Bye. I'm waving at my daughter. Bye. Thank you.
Downsizing.